I want to talk about what this edition, the 120th edition of the Red River Rivalry, actually means for the University of Texas, what it can mean for the University of Oklahoma, but also just in general, what this is going to mean in this new age of the college football playoff era, of the SEC and what it might be, of the new Big Ten, of the reanimated Pac-12, all the way down the line. And as I do that, I hope you'll find something in there that you can use and find useful that might lead you to subscribe to the show. We are just a few subscribers away from going to 114,000 subscribers, and we're going to do segments during the day on Saturday, during the day on Sunday. We do a live show on Saturday nights following the end of the primetime game, so it doesn't kick off straight at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but when Ohio State, Oregon ends, or LSU, Ole Miss, or when the big games basically get to a place where they feel like they're done, you'll find me right here chatting at you about what we learned from the day, what we can take into the next, probably a couple of looks at a top 25 or some takeaways. So consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps people find the channel if you like it. Doesn't mess up your algorithm, none of those things. It's just you saying, hey, I really like RJ's show. Maybe someone else would see that and say, hey, yeah, I'll give RJ and that show a shot as well. I wanted to talk about Texas and Red River Rivalry because, well, this is a big one. It's a big one for a number of reasons. I don't mind telling you that Texas is 4-11 against Oklahoma since 2010. Why am I focusing on 2010 when I've been telling you 17-25? Because the last time that Texas felt this good was 2009. And that 2009 team was good enough to make the national championship. Colt McCoy gets knocked out of the game, wasn't going well to begin with, and then Gary Gilbert spits all over himself in Alabama, becomes the Alabama that we have known for 15 years. Imagine if that was Texas. Imagine if Texas had finally, or in a, let's say it's not Earth 616, let's say it's Earth 927. Imagine that it's Texas that comes out on top with that, and Mac Brown puts Texas on a path to winning 6 national championships in the last 15 years. I would tell you that both of those programs desire winning national championships at mostly the same level. The difference is Alabama will do the work necessary to win. They don't care about money. They don't care about who they recruit. They don't care about whether or not it's going to go over well with others. They are ruthless about how they want to do this. So much so that one of my favorite Bama stories around Nick Saban and building that program was Jimbo Fisher wanted to be the head coach at UAB. Athletic director at UAB wanted Jimbo Fisher to be the head coach. Everything was done. They agreed on money. They agreed on the contract. All that needed to be done was the University of Alabama regents, who run the University of Alabama system, needed to sign off on it. And there were enough regents in that room that said no, that Jimbo Fisher could not be the next head coach at UAB. And the athletic director was like, what are you doing? I have the offensive coordinator at LSU ready to come right here, right now, to lead the Blazers into what we think is glory. And they said, that's it exactly. What do you mean? We can't have a head coach at UAB inside the University of Alabama system challenging what Nick Saban is trying to build at the University of Alabama. Because you don't want Nick Saban to be challenged or be competed with? No, not in the state of Alabama, because the state of Alabama's university system is built around college football, particularly Crimson Tide football. And you've seen what that means. When the Alabama football program is rolling, the state of Alabama is rolling. Not Auburn, not UAB, not Alabama A&M, not Alabama State, not Northern Alabama, Alabama. When they're rolling, the state rolls. So they were protecting, right, the golden goose. They were protecting the money. They were, do not bite the hand that feeds us all, by hiring Jimbo Fisher, who could have probably turned UAB into a monster. We know this because, he basically helped get Bobby Bowden up out of Florida State and then won a national championship with them. I think we're back to that stage with the University of Texas, where in year 3 of the Steve Sarkisian era, they are back to being what Mac Brown was in Texas was in 2009 with Colt McCoy. They've got the right guy. They've got a quarterback that eats, breathes, and sleeps Texas. They've got a coordinator and head coach who is as innovative and inventive as any offensive coordinator in the sport. And that Texas defense is finally stopping people. It's really difficult to score on them. They haven't allowed anybody to score more than, I believe it's 15 points all year this year, and they're putting up 45 a game. They are down at tailback, right? C.J. Baxter, we know, big loss for them. We also know that Christian Clark, big loss for them. But Jaden Blue has been fine, even good. And Quintravion Wisner has been good. You've got guys like Jonte Cook. You've got guys like Isaiah Bond. You've got tools for Quinn Ewers to use, weapons he has. You've got one of the better offensive lines in all of football. Could be the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line. Defensively, perhaps Pete Kwiatkowski learned from playing Jalen Ford 82 snaps against Oklahoma last year and Anthony Hill just 41. This year feels like the one that is going to do what Chris Del Conte has been saying since he became the athletic director at Texas. He wants a Texas reckoning, right? We have some things that we need to reckon with. And this is a man who is absolutely 100% about his business. He is quietly one of the more ruthless and calculating athletic directors we have seen. And I say this on more than one occasion, but three that I'm going to point out here. The first one is hiring Steve Sarkisian to be your head coach. Hearing him say, we have to be better in the trenches than everybody else. We have to be better, faster on the perimeter than everybody else. And then hiring that guy to see him follow it through. While you're doing that, without telling Steve Sarkisian, you are engineering a move to Top Gun. You are engineering a move to the place where the best of the best compete against each other each and every week to see who can win Top Gun. That is the SEC. You have decided that, no, we got to get off this air carrier that is the Big 12, and we got to go touchdown on that air carrier, which is going to lead us to Miramar, where we're going to compete against the best of the best. It's a tall order. Not everybody can do it. Even the best fighter pilots in the world go to Top Gun and find out they're just not that good. I equate Top Gun and what SEC is doing to Formula One, frankly. Formula One is where the best race car drivers in the world drive. Okay? If Kyle Larson wants to be the best, go drive Formula One and beat Max Verstappen. Okay? We could say this about Rally. We could say this about IndyCar, down the line. The best drivers in the world are in Formula One. But the 20th best driver in the world feels like he's absolutely sorry and he sucks, right? Ask Logan Sargent how that must feel. Ask how it must feel to be Daniel Ricciardo, to be bounced in, bounced out, bounced in, bounced out, having one Grand Prix. Going to the SEC is a lot like that if you're Oklahoma and Texas. You want to show. You want to prove. You can't be Mississippi State, right? Even Vanderbilt isn't Vanderbilt anymore. And this is a man in Chris Del Conte who knows this, who also wants this all over the map for his programs. He met the head baseball coach, Texas A&M, at a cemetery and flipped him to Texas after the man said he would never go to Texas. Okay, that's who he is. That is the kind of operator that he is. And then this move to the SEC. The reason I believe that Texas can make a reckoning statement against Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout is quite simple. Texas and Oklahoma more or less invented the Big 12, right? We could talk about Southwest Conference and members of it and Big 8 members of it, but it's Texas and Oklahoma were the reasons this could go because they're two biggest brands in college, two of the bigger brands in college football at the time. And then after the formation of the Big 12, 1995, Oklahoma proceeds to win 14 of 28 Big 12 championships. It is Oklahoma's league. And it didn't feel that way for sure until after 2009 in 2010, where Bob Stoops made a couple of changes at offense coordinator, defensive coordinator. Lincoln Riley's in there. We're bound to the Brent Venables era. But slowly in the Steve Sarkisian era, we have seen him correct things. We've seen him get better, right? 5-7 to 8-5 to, making the college football playoff, right? Winning the Big 12 championship. Now you have an opportunity to reset the marker. You have an opportunity to lay one down and say, okay, the time of Oklahoma running Texas or running anything has come to an end. The University of Texas Longhorns are announcing themselves to the rest of the world as the number one team in the country over its most hated rival north of Austin. Okay? There's still A&M on the schedule, still Arkansas on the schedule, but Oklahoma is the team that you need to beat because Oklahoma is the most successful of your rivals. It's the one that everybody watches. It's the one that everybody cares the most about. And given that Texas is a 14-point favorite, they have a monstrous edge at quarterback, and that Oklahoma became the first program not named Alabama A&M to give up 300 pass yards to Auburn just 2 weeks ago. I don't know that you could be in a better spot if you're a Texas fan for this Texas reckoning. What we're going to find out is what Oklahoma has in this game following the season, see where they're going to rank in this first year of Top Gun SEC.